He penthouse gleamed, a testament to Alexander Sterling's ruthless efficiency. From its dizzying height, the city sprawled, an ant farm of ambition and compromise. Alex, a man carved from granite and tailored Italian silk, had conquered much of it, building a tech empire from a dorm room dream. Yet, as he watched his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, chase a reluctant robotic vacuum across the polished floors, he felt a familiar, unsettling void. Lily, a bright spark with eyes that mirrored his late wife's, was his universe, but even his vast wealth couldn't conjure the time she deserved. That's where Clara came in. Clara Rodriguez arrived on a Tuesday, a gentle whirlwind in the sterile Sterling household. She wasn't the usual stiff, impeccably credentialed nanny Alex had cycled through. Clara wore comfortable, colorful blouses, her dark hair often escaping its braid, and her smile was genuine, not practiced. She had an art teacher's warmth, a nurse's calm, and a grandmother's unwavering patience. Lily, initially wary of new faces, clung to Clara within hours. Alex, ever the observer, found himself observing Clara. He'd catch her humming along to Lily's favorite cartoon, her hands busy untangling a doll's hair, a soft frown of concentration on her face. He saw her introduce Lily to finger painting, transforming a corner of the pristine living room into an explosion of color and creativity, much to his housekeeper's quiet dismay. He heard Lily's unrestrained laughter, a sound that had become increasingly rare since his wife's passing. He'd often find excuses to be in the same room, a forgotten document, an urgent email that could be answered from the den. He'd listen to Clara explain the life cycle of a butterfly to a mesmerized Lily, or patiently coach her through a particularly tricky piano piece. He noticed the way the sunlight caught the auburn streaks in her hair, the easy grace of her movements, the subtle scent of vanilla and warmth that always seemed to accompany her. One evening after Lily was asleep, Alex found Clara in the kitchen, meticulously cleaning up after Lily's impromptu cookie baking session. Flour dusted her cheek, and she hummed a tune he couldn't quite place. "You didn't have to do all that," he said, surprising himself with the softness of his voice. Clara turned, a faint blush rising. "Lily had so much fun. And a little mess is part of the magic, don't you think?" He found himself smiling, a genuine, unforced curve of his lips. "Magic hasn't been a strong suit of mine lately." They talked then, long after the city outside had settled into its nighttime hum. She spoke of her childhood in a small town, her dreams of being an artist, her passion for nurturing young minds. He, in turn, found himself revealing vulnerabilities he hadn't shared with anyone since his wife's death, the crushing loneliness, the fear of failing Lily, the emptiness despite his monumental success. Days bled into weeks, and weeks into months. The lines between employer and employee blurred, then dissolved. Clara wasn't just Lily's nanny, she was the balm on his frayed edges, the color in his monochrome world. He started scheduling his meetings around Lily's activities, just to catch glimpses of Clara. He bought her flowers, initially under the guise of thank you for something Lily had done, then simply because he wanted to see her smile. The realization hit him one rainy afternoon. He was watching Clara read to Lily, both nestled on the oversized sofa, Lily's head resting against Clara's shoulder. A fierce protectiveness surged through him, a longing so profound it took his breath away. He wasn't just grateful for her, he was falling in love with her. The confession was clumsy, a whirlwind of nervous energy from a man used to precise, calculated pronouncements. He cornered her by the terrace, the city lights twinkling behind them like a million silent witnesses. "Clara," he began, his voice rougher than usual, I know this is unconventional, improper even, but I can't pretend anymore. I'm in love with you." Clara's eyes, wide and luminous, searched his. There was surprise, a flicker of fear, but also, unmistakably, a nascent hope. "Mr. Sterling," she whispered, Alex," he corrected softly, taking a tentative step closer. "Please, call me Alex." She took a deep breath. "Alex, I didn't think a man like you would ever look at someone like me." "A man like me," he said, his gaze intense, "is just a man. And you, Clara, are everything I didn't know I was missing. You brought light back into this house, into Lily's life, and into mine. He reached out, gently cupping her face, his thumb tracing the curve of her cheek. I know it's a lot to ask, to bridge this divide, but if there's even a chance... Clara leaned into his touch, her earlier apprehension melting into a profound tenderness. She closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them, a joyful tear tracing a path down her cheek. There's